Welcome to Curveball the podcast.
Yay!
Welcome. We've got such a good episode in store for you today. I'm buzzing for this.
This is actually a really good episode. This is called Can Women Have It All?
Can women have it all?
That's the question.
Let's talk about the pressure that we face.
Societal pressure.
Societal pressure. Kaylee practiced that 3 times.
I did. I really did, because I didn't want to get that wrong.
Societal pressure, balance, can women have it all? What does having it all even mean?
And for example, like we're models, we're podcasters now, and we've had our businesses like previously, but we don't have children.
No, and I already feel, we were talking about this when we were talking about this episode, but we were going through, I already feel like I am at capacity, right? I already feel like career-wise, time, like trying to find time for my family, my friendships, trying to balance a relationship with a career, and we don't have kids yet. There is so much pressure. And I think we really want to dive into today the concept of what does having it all even mean?
Well, exactly, because I see, having it all very differently to probably what you see.
Exactly.
And everybody does. So I think it's just about kind of seeing what you want from life and how to navigate through it, right?
And being able to walk your own path, because if having it all means something different to you, then it's really important to constantly keep that in mind.
And that's true because, social media, I think, has a massive impact on us nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, it's all around us. And I think it's unattainable pressure that we have from watching social media. So, we're going to dive into that.
Let's dive into it.
Yeah.
Do you think you can have it all then?
Yeah.
Do you?
I'd like to think so.
In what capacity?
But for instance, right, I'm just going to go into this, right, Emma Grede. Yes.
Okay.
Right, okay, I love Emma Grede. If you don't know who Emma Grede is, she is a British businesswoman, entrepreneur and fashion designer who is basically one of the co-founders for Good America and Skims. She's worth something like 350 million now. And, she was a college dropout. She's come from basically nothing and just really built herself up. I was listening to a speech on her recently, and she was just basically saying that, she gets up at 5 a.m, she does workouts, manifesting, and then some days she doesn't, because it depends on where she's at and what's going on in her life. And she doesn't believe in balance. Now, because I always said life's about balance, but actually I kind of get what she's saying, because she's like, well, if you have a campaign to do, or you have a child sick, or, something's going on in your life with your health, you have to put that first,
Does she have kids?
She has 4 children too, and a husband.
A happy relationship. The thing is, how do we know that? This is the problem. So we compare ourselves to other women, like Emma, for example, who I absolutely love as well, but who we perceive, because of social media, to have it all. She might have the most unhappy marriage in the world, and we are comparing ourselves, or her relationship with her kids might be strained because she's got the business. So I think we have all of this pressure of this person's got A, B, C, D, E, F, G that we've determined as a society is having it all. But have they really? Do they enjoy their job? Have they got good relationships with their kids? Have they got good relationships with their friends? Are they in the gym and healthy and got a good marriage? Can you really do
this is it, isn't
all of that?
This is the question. So when I was watching that speech, and I was like, do you know what? Because she's top-notch businesswoman.
I mean, 350 mil would help. To do all of that.
Absolutely.
If I've got nannies and housekeepers, and I feel like I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. But it's I just love the fact that she's like, you know what? It doesn't have to be about balance, and I like that, because that is actually that is attainable, right? You don't have to have balance, and I really liked listening to that. You should have a listen.
I think social media has an awful lot to answer for, and I think that's what I'm trying to get at, really, in terms of women not helping each other by making out that they do have it all. And I'm really passionate with my socials about keeping it real and showing that I absolutely do not have my shit together.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's so important, and it would be so easy to compare yourself to people on socials who like to make out they have it all, and they've got these perfect Pinterest lives where their boyfriend buys them 1,000 red roses for Valentine's.
Oh my God, bought off.
Do you know what I mean?
Bought off.
But then that boyfriend has probably been a complete arsehole to them all day long.
Yeah, you just never know. It could be cheating, and I've got another 20 girls on the go. You just never know. You know what you did mention, actually, this is coming back to me now, about we had Christmas previously. Christmas pyjamas.
Matching Christmas pyjamas. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm totally going to do matching Christmas pyjamas.
I thought you hated that.
I hate it. But I'm going to do it because it's cute.
It's not for social media though, right?
with
but
the
you could do it with the cat.
But
That is cute.
I will do matching Christmas pajamas, but I will be there to remind everyone that it's absolute bollocks that I had to bribe the kids with chocolate, that my boyfriend, husband, whatever he may be, absolutely refused to do it, that the cat scratched me 5 times trying to get him his pajamas. Like, let's just be honest about that perfect Christmas pajama shot. I think that's the point. I think the problem is when people try to make out like everything is perfect and it leads to so much comparison from other women.
Well, this is it again. We spoke about this previously, like comparison culture is the worst, you know, and I just do believe that it is about just understanding what's going on in your life and where to build on different areas if you feel like you're not thriving in a different area, you know?
Absolutely. What does having it all mean to you? And I think this is such an important question for everyone to continue to ask themselves throughout their life, because it changes, right? Yeah. It constantly changes. Having it all when I was 18 looks very different to having it all when I'm 34.
Absolutely.
Looks very different to having it all when I'm 50.
Absolutely. I think it's continuously changing throughout your life. Because, like, for me, a couple of years ago, for instance, like, you know, the nice car, the nice house, the nice bags, all of that sort of materialistic, and that's absolutely fine. Like, you know, if that's what you like in all of,
and makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly. That makes you happy. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So, you know, again, through social media, you're seeing people with, you know, the beautiful Hermes bags and things like that. There's so many young girls that I know, I swear to God, that are saving up and wanting Rolexes and Hermes for like their 21st birthday. Like, what world are we living in that's normal?
We live in a world where people don't have self-awareness or don't take a breath to actually get to know themselves and what makes them happy.
Yeah, exactly. You're just doing it because what social media says, and everyone else has got a Rolex, so you want a Rolex. Like, and you know what? Yes, I will say I have done that. But then I actually
here she is with a Rolex.
I did enjoy buying the Rolex. Yes, I did, because I'd worked hard for it though, not because it was given or you know gifted to me. I worked hard for that, so I appreciated that. But actually, take all that away. Like, genuinely, I'm so happy, right, in my comfort zone with my friends and my family, and just having health. I swear to God, because once something happens to you like that, then I think that's when you kind of have to question everything else.
Absolutely, and I love that. I think that's such an important message, that having it all to you right now is health. Yeah. And that's the priority. So other people might look at you, and I say this with so much love, might look at us as 34-year-old women who are not married and don't have kids and say, well, they've not got it all. But because we're happy and healthy, is that not having it all in this stage of our life?
The way we speak as well, you know, to each other about our lives, I genuinely think we're both actually really happy where we are right now. And we've gone from Christmas again, and you're around your family and friends that even, you know, the younger cousins are having babies now, and you're getting questioned, why you're not married, why, you know, the same old stuff again. And actually, this was the only year I was like, I'm not actually bothered, I'm actually really happy. Good. Because, like, I see you with your children, and that's fantastic. I love your kids, but...
See, I didn't feel like that this year.
Around, and I'm like, no thanks, I'm going to go home and sleep. Thank you very much.
See, I didn't feel like that this year, to keep it real. I felt a lot of comparison.
Did you?
Yeah, the whole of December. My birthday's in December as well at the start. So it kind of starts at the start of December, where I just get very, like, reticent, and there's a lot of thinking, and I'm really evaluating everything. And then work really slows down, and then all of my friends and family have their own kids, and they're doing their own things, and they're off doing Massey Lights Trail, and they're doing all of these gorgeous things with their kids.
On that.
We'll do it together next year. But I see my friends doing all of these gorgeous things, and I really struggled this year with comparison. And even though I really tried to tell myself not to, because for the other 11 months of the year, I absolutely love my life and I'm so grateful and so happy and abundant, and I wouldn't change it for the world. December, I did really struggle this year. Keep it real, and I think that's okay. And it's just that awareness of this too shall pass. You're not being left behind. Half of it is just in your head. It's the stories that you're telling yourself, and you're not even sure if that's what you want.
Well, this is it.
That's the problem.
That is the problem, because do we want it because society tells us that we want it, and everyone else has got it, or is it because social media, like, or is it because your parents are asking you, like? Until you sit down and actually go, what the fuck am I doing? What do I want?
What do I want?
I really want. What's going to make me really happy right now?
Then I've never really wanted to get married, and probably in the last 6 months I've started to think, oh, that that might be quite fun. But I have to ask myself, do I actually want this? Or am I just like, oh, that's quite a nice wedding venue. What's a nice bridesmaid dress?
Yeah, I mean, I might have had a Pinterest for a while now.
We love a Pinterest board. Can you add me to it?
Yeah, I will. I actually will.
Michelle Keegan's pregnant.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say.
Michelle Keegan's pregnant.
Michelle Keegan is pregnant.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's absolutely gorgeous news. But not just gorgeous news for Michelle, gorgeous news for all the women in their 30s, late 30s, who are having a career first.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, you know, she's been married, like 10 years or something like that? Yeah. You know, she's surrounded by children. And it's like I feel like she's done it at the most perfect timing. It's nothing to do with us, obviously, but like just for us women as well that I've tried to put a career first. Yeah. I'm just like, what a woman.
She's just a really beautiful example.
She's a really good example that she has done that first and not gone to the pressures of society, and probably she has it tenfold, right?
Massively.
Everybody.
She's under a microscope.
Completely. God bless her. And they've done it at the right time for them.
It's gorgeous news.
You know, they've done it on their terms, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think she's a really good example as well of how, when we talk about having it all, do we need to have it all in this chronological order of like go to university, buy a house, get a man, have a baby, have a job, and travel the world and keep up with all the beauty trends
whilst keeping really fit and beautiful.
And really slim and really, exactly. But do we need to, I mean, A, do we need to do any of that bollocks? But B, do we need to do it in the order that we've been taught? And do we need to do it all at once to be considered to have it all? Because what if you get to your deathbed and you look back on your life and you think, I travelled the world, I had incredible relationships, I had beautiful friendships, some that came and went, but they were beautiful in the moment. I had children if that was what I wanted, I had a marriage if that was what I wanted, had an incredible career if that was what I wanted. I had it all. So why does it have to be, you've got to have it all in 2025, all at once, all in quick succession? Can we not just look at our lives as, this is the chapter that I'm in. Yeah. It's so beautiful. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to be present.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what the key is. It's being present.
It's being present.
It's being present. And
grateful
actually just saying, do you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to sit in this moment right now and be grateful for what I've got. And that is, I think that is key, actually.
Talk to me about tall girl theory.
Right, so I'm obsessed with this theory, you know. Yes. But I have done a lot of research. I've actually had to write this out, guys. So, Chris Williamson, if you don't know him, he's an amazing podcaster, and I do love his podcast. So I am basically saying this in my own words. So if you want to come at me and shout at me for saying this wrong, you may. But this is tall girl theory.
Okay.
Now I thought it was going to be about actual tall girls. I'm a tall girl. You're a tall girl.
I'm a tall girl.
So I was like, okay, I want to know about the tall girl theory because, come on, I'm a tall girl. And basically, right, it's saying that women now are seeking partners who match or surpass them in education and status, right? Whereas now men, there's such a small pool of them. Right, if it's I'm talking when you're single, like to find somebody. The pool is the smallest it's ever been right now because there's a lot of men that have not done this and have not worked on themselves, and women are actually like, I need to say this properly, equally ambitious or educated. They're not anymore. And now the pool has shrunk that small that women are overperforming and men are underperforming in that area.
Women are realising that we can have it all.
And this is it, right? So this is it, right? The imbalance is compounded as society expectations. Women are seen to be looked at from looks and achievement, whereas men don't actually prioritise this. And women want a man that's, you know, educated, emotionally intelligent, and all the rest of it, because they are.
It's so interesting, isn't it?
Men are falling behind here.
They're getting left behind a little bit.
They're getting left behind. Men in their 40s are the most single that they've ever been.
And also, women in the 40s who've never been married and never had kids are the happiest subgroup of the population.
Very true.
That's really important to talk about.
Really, really important.
They are the happiest subgroup, and they've never been married and never had kids.
Yeah. So basically, us women are thriving in their careers and self-worth, refusing to settle for partners who distract their lives. And a lot of the men that were actually, you know, spoken to in this survey have retreated to playing games and being dismissive of women because they're too bossy or they are too picky.
lives.
It makes sense now, and I'm like, aha, okay,
It's not the 1950s anymore where women were there to be seen and
It's not
not
even the
heard.
1990s, guys. It's just a lot's changed since
We
then.
have opinions, we have careers. I mean, we're really good examples of this. We are both financially abundant, successful, independent, but we don't need anyone else to come into our lives. We've got our shit together. Don't need.
No, don't
keyword.
need it. Want it.
Want it if they bring value.
Yeah, exactly. And
if they allow us to elevate our lives, if they inspire us. If. And if not, we're good.
Yeah, good.
And that's the problem.
That is it. So basically, that is the tall girl theory. So women are choosing partners based on emotional intelligence and empathy rather than the outdated gender norms. So women are basically not willing to compromise now, and that is the tall girl theory. Thank you very much.
Damn straight, we should not compromise.
not.
So I want to talk a little bit about balance. So I use this theory a lot in my life, and it's about glass balls and rubber balls.
Yes.
But your glass balls in your life are those things that you cannot drop. Okay.
Right, okay.
If you
You're like
drop
juggling them.
If you drop them, everything is going to go to shit. So things like your marriage, your children, your health, things that are super, super important. And then the other balls that you have are rubber balls, which are things like, it could be a career, that could be a glass ball for you, it could be rubber. And this is where it's important to understand which one's which.
Okay,
Things like your hobbies, going to the gym, again, could be a glass ball for you, it might be a rubber ball. And it's really having this concept in your head of women cannot do it all at once, okay? There is so much pressure on us to be everything to everyone, completely put ourselves last, and it never ends well. Like, self-care should not be a rubber ball. That should be a glass ball.
But it should be a glass ball. You're
But it's
correct
not.
there, yeah.
Not for women. It's a rubber ball, and it becomes, you've had kids and having a shower is a privilege. You know, my sister has a bath as a treat. I'm not being funny. A bath should not be a treat. But this is where we're at as women. We are so burnt out because we're trying to have careers, we're trying to keep our marriage going, we're trying to have our friendships, all of these different things. So it's about learning to prioritise what your glass balls are and what your rubber balls are, and not being willing to sacrifice on that.
Love that.
Friendships is a really good one because for me, some of my friendships can actually be a rubber ball because they've allowed me that. So, you know, you have those friendships where you don't speak for a couple of months and you've both just got life, chaos, there's too much going on. We'd be like that. I know we would. If we didn't speak for 6 months for whatever reason, we'd just pick up where we left off
100%.
because we both understand being a woman is really hard and the pressure and work and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
But
agree on that. I have them friends.
I love this metaphor in your head of like, there's certain things that you cannot drop. Your kids, for example, you cannot drop that. So give yourself a break on allowing yourself to put other things down sometimes. If other things are getting too heavy, like, it's okay if you don't have time to go to netball every single week when you're also trying to do absolutely everything else. So I love this. But I don't know why I said netball.
Do you play netball?
Not play netball, no, absolutely not.
I used to play netball.
But I think burnout comes.
yeah.
I think burnout comes when you are failing to prioritise your balls.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to prioritise your balls correctly. You do.
And your career, so this is a really important one because your career is a rubber ball for some people and a glass ball for other people.
What is it to you?
It's a glass ball.
Yeah, it is for me too.
It's such an important
That's
part.
because we're, women that look after ourselves.
Yeah.
So
For me, it's such an important part of who I am.
Yeah.
It's an important part of my identity.
Yeah.
It brings me a lot of joy. It brings me financial freedom and flexibility. It's not a rubber ball. It's not something that I just pick up and put down.
Yeah.
But I think that's because the type of careers we've chosen as well.
100%.
If we worked a 9 to 5 and work wasn't as important to us, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, that's a rubber ball. And it's just like, actually, I close my emails at 5 o'clock and you can't reach me. That is not us.
sometimes I wish it was like that.
We are still working on this podcast at 1:30 in the morning. It's a glass ball.
Literally,
It's a massive, massive priority. But burnout comes when you don't know what your glass balls are and you make everything a glass ball.
Yeah.
Rather than just setting boundaries and saying, actually, we were supposed to be going for dinner on Wednesday night and I can't do that because that's not a glass ball. I need a minute. We did. We do things like that all the time.
You know what? We're so burnt out with work and everything going on right now. We're just going to catch up another, and it's cool. I get it. Sometimes you do need to catch up with old friends that you haven't seen like that for a long time. But
But you need to protect
You do
your
need to
energy
protect
and
your
you need to
energy,
know that we can't do it all the time. You don't have to do it all the time.
it's very similar that actually to the theory that I was going to say, the four-legged stool theory.
Oh yeah, talk to me about that.
Yeah, so basically it's an analogy. It's a metaphor using a variety of different content, so you can have it at work. I'm talking with this for like life. So, for instance, like it's basically how stable you are in 4 different areas of your life. You know, like a 4 stools. Yeah. So it's like love, friends, family, career.
Oh, gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, I think you could put friends and family probably into the same category. So then you'd be like health.
Okay.
But you do it on what you find is the most important in your life. So for me would be career, health, friends, family.
So interesting that you said career first.
It is
just from a
interesting.
psychology perspective. Fascinating that you said career first. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my main love, isn't it, at the moment? And so I don't even say love because I haven't got love. It's non-existent. So I would be 3 legs on 3 legs if I had love. I would be 3-legged stool, literally. So, you know, if you think of your 4 stools and whatever's off balance, it can tilt you off in different areas of your life.
So you need that balance between
you need
the
balance
4.
between the 4. Yeah. Even though I mentioned at the beginning, like, you know, some people say it's not about balance, but for me, I need to have a bit of it.
But I think what you said at the start is more about you're not going to have balance in every minute of every
No, not
day.
every day, but it's important.
Overall,
I think, yeah.
you can still have that balance. If you look at your previous year or the year ahead, focusing on that balance.
Yeah. So it's like if one area isn't working properly, you can work on another area, or, you know, you work on that one more at that certain time. So actually that does make sense. But it's about trying to keep an even keel on all the main bits of your life that you are important to you.
And they impact each other so much, don't they? Like when me and Kaylee have both got endometriosis, and we will properly dive into this because it's a whole episode. But when your health is letting you down, when you've not got your health, everything else falls off. If we're having an endo attack, do you think I'm going to be my best on a photo shoot? Do you think I'm going to be the best version of myself in a relationship? It's just not possible. And the same with if you are in a toxic, negative relationship, or even if you've got a really toxic friend who is adding a lot of drama and negativity to your life, it impacts impacts all the areas of your life. You can't thrive in anything.
It does. Yeah, so that leads me on to the next question, actually. Like, what is the biggest curveball you've had that makes you rethink what we've just been speaking about, and can women really have it all?
Yeah, so I moved back from Australia. I lived in Australia for nearly 10 years. And I was in a relationship there for 9 years. And never in my wildest dreams did I think I would move back to England.
Really?
It was not on my radar. I really had not considered it. The first few years were tough and settling in and stuff, but once I was settled, had the house, had cats, had the car, like everything was just there. That was my whole life, my friends, my career, everything. So I never in a million years imagined moving back. And whenever I would come up with plans for my future or a 5-year plan or any of these things, it was all based around me being in Australia. And then the pandemic hits, which no one could have anticipated, and it just flipped everything on its head for me. So it made me think differently about the relationship I was in and realise that it was time to leave that behind, and then maybe it would be a good time to give the UK a shot. Not that I'm convinced about that or ever will be, but here we are. But the main thing it made me realise from a perspective of can women have it all is that we spend so much time creating these plans, 5-year plan, I'm going to plan for this, I'm going to plan for that, around another human being, or around, you know, geography for me in that, in that case, and things change. Things change, and you have to be willing to grow and adapt and be open to change 100%. And not pin having it all on such tangible things.
Yeah, love that. Yeah.
What about you?
Mine was actually, I think, having this the surgery for endometriosis.
Okay.
So I had that a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Has that been a year and a half?
I know.
Wow, that's flown.
It's really flown.
Has it helped?
It did.
Yeah.
Until up to now, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
And I can feel it coming back, which is not okay, but it's better than it was.
Okay.
And we're going to do a full episode on the endometriosis anyway, but I think that for me was it was more, I've been prioritising a lot of things, like I was trying to get love. My career I would always put first before my health, and it was killing me. Like, I had businesses before, I had 3 other businesses before, and it was literally like draining the hell out of me. And I just needed to just say stop. So when I had the surgery, it forced me to. It was like the universe forced me to stop, slow down, look after yourself. And I just remember being sat for 2 weeks and, you know, struggling to walk for the first week. And my mum was there for the first couple of days, bless her. But then, you know, I was left on my own and, like, in an apartment on the 3rd floor. Like, I couldn't do much at all. And I just thought, you know what? Like, it's everything else that I thought was important before important. Because if anything had happened to me in that surgery, I'd got, like, it wasn't just endometriosis, I'd got, like, my fallopian tube twisted onto my cervix, oh my God, where was it? Bowel. Yeah, there was just a lot going on. And I was like, do you know what? It actually turned out to be pretty serious surgery. And if anything would have happened to me then, all the other things that I was so bothered about before, just they wouldn't have even come into my mind, do you know, moving forward. So cut it back, cut the shit back. Let's just see what's really important. So health for me has been one of the number one things.
I love that. And I love that you learned from that experience as well, because I find all too often we go through something like that. The pandemic's a really good example of this. And in the moment, we say, I'm never going to do this again, and I'll change this, and I won't go into burnout, and and then give it 6 months, and we've completely forgotten everything that we learned.
That's very, very true.
So it's really great that curveball was actually so pivotal for you and has continued to be.
And it wasn't that big of an issue, you know. It was just more, I actually had to just cut the shit off everything, I think. And I just have to rethink. And I still do to this day, you know. I got rid of the businesses. I had to.
Yeah.
It was killing me. And I was like, I will never, ever go into business or do anything again unless it's for happiness. Yes. Because that is key. If anything would have happened to me then, like, what would have I achieved before?
You know? We've both launched multiple businesses, both had multiple successful businesses. And I think when we talk about women...
failures.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I think when
I felt a failure when I ended mine, and actually it wasn't. It was a win.
Yeah, 100%. I think when we talk about women having it all, you probably would have looked at, I'll speak from my experience, probably would have looked at my life when I was running that business and thought I had it all. Yeah. I was making so much money. It was... You know, it was all of the things that you go tick, 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 tick. I was living in Australia, I woke up in the morning, went to the beach, meditated, ran my business. You would have looked at me and thought, she's got it all. Yeah. And that is the most unhappy I have ever been. Wow. Because I worked 15, 16 hours a day. Yeah. I worked Saturdays, I worked Sundays. I would be at a friend's wedding, and if something went wrong, best believe I was working. Yeah, of course. That's all I did. Yeah. And it made me miserable.
I think people don't realise that until they actually get into it themselves today. Yeah. And that's the thing. So
that's where it's about taking stock, though, and actually looking at your life as it is and thinking, maybe I already do have it all. Yeah. Maybe I do already have it all. Absolutely, do we constantly have to reach? Do we constantly have to strive?
Yeah, so when I saw my friends back at Christmas, like, you know, amazing. Like, I look at them and I'm like, you're smashing it. Like, you're doing it amazing. Like, they've got the children, they're getting, like, houses built, these beautiful, like, you know, they're doing well, they're doing good, and I love that. But then, like, they'll say to me, oh my God, we live through you. And I'm like, what? Really? They're like, yeah, honestly, like, everything that you're doing, like, I love to do what you're doing. And I'm like, there we go. Everybody's perception is very different. So I think it is about, you know, like you say,
staying in your own lane.
Stay in your own lane and just work on your own happiness about what you really want.
We've all got our shit going on. This is an interesting one for you. Do you think women can still feel fulfilled without ticking every box that there is?
Well, again, I think it's on perception. Because, like, you know, we're saying, well, we're happy right now. Like, I don't know, if something else came into it.
Do you feel fulfilled?
Yeah, I feel fulfilled.
100%.
Not sexually, but yeah.
That's a different
That's
episode.
the only one. That's the only thing that's missing.
You just need to get your shit together. I'll sort that out. I mean, not me, physically.
I just think it's just really important to be present and just the small things in life, guys. Yeah, that is what makes you realise that, we can have it all if you just sit in it, the present, and...
I think women can have it all without ticking all the boxes. And I think there's so much now online, and I absolutely love this child-free movement of women who are choosing not to have children, and absolute power to them. I am completely on the fence as to which way I go with that, but I find it so empowering seeing these videos of these successful women in their 50s, in their 60s, who have zero regrets about not having children. And I know there are so many people who get so irate about this and say, you'll regret it, you'll never feel fulfilled, you'll be lonely.
No, you'd regret it, but they don't.
But who is anyone else to tell you that you're going to regret a decision in your life? I think absolute power to you. And I think there's nothing more freeing as a woman in your 30s to make that decision, stand by it, feel good about it.
Absolutely.
And know that just because having it all to someone else is tick, 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 I've got the 3 kids, I've got the matching pyjamas, I've got the 1,000 red roses. Power to you if you are so confident and so comfortable in yourself that you can sit back and say, I don't want any of those things. I don't need any of those things. I want to travel the world. I want to have a beautiful love in my life. I want to have an amazing career. Good for you, girl.
Yeah, absolutely. Take all the bullshit away.
Absolutely.
Still happy. Yeah, how nice would that be? The key to defining success here, I think, is to live authentically for yourself and to not try and live to impossible standards.
Amen. Thanks for listening to Curveball, the podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and watch us. Do all the things. We love you. We appreciate you.
We love your feedback, guys. Feel free to throw us a curveball of your own, and we'll see you next time.